Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Śrīla Vyasadeva, the author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Kṛṣṇāya Kṛṣṇa-bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. I'll read one verse for the glories of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. This is from Canto 1, Chapter 1, Text 3. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the mature fruit of the desire tree of the Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Shukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. The Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the ripened fruit of all the Vedic literatures. So we are so blessed to read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in the association of like-minded devotees. And it has become even more tasteful because Srila Prabhupada is giving transcendental Bhaktivedanta purports. So we are reading Canto 7, Chapter 12. Read till text number 2 yesterday. Last chapter was about Varna. This chapter is about Ashrama. We started with the duties of Brahmachari, Ashram, the celibate. So let's study the next verse, text number 3. Chandamsi adhita gurur ahutascheta suyantritaha upkrame vasani cha charanau shirsanamit. Translation and purport. There is no purport. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Being called by spiritual master, the student should study the Vedic mantras regularly. Every day before beginning his studies and at the end of his studies, the disciple should respectfully offer obeisance unto the spiritual master. Hare Krishna. So, the duties of the brahmachari living in a household ashram, in the Gurukul ashram, in the home of the Guru, or in the ashram of the Guru, are mentioned. So we discussed about sense control yesterday. Here, study of Vedic Shastra is mentioned. That one should study under the guidance of his spiritual master. And then, before studies and after studies, one should offer one's respect to the spiritual master. So the principle is to offer respects, and the details may be different. One may not be living with his guru or her guru, but still one can, before beginning any service, we speak this mantra, and I highly recommend everyone to please learn this simple mantra. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Kṛṣṇāya Kṛṣṇa-bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Very, very simple. It's a condensed Mangalacharan. Gurave, unto this Guru, the spiritual master. Gaurachandraya, unto Lord Chaitanya. Gaurachandra. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya, unto Shri Radhika. Tad alaye, her abode. Shri Vrindavan Dham, Barsana Dham, the holy abodes of Radha and Krishna. Kṛṣṇāya, unto Lord Krishna. Kṛṣṇa-bhaktaya, unto the devotees of Lord, Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha, and unto the devotees of Lord. So very easy words, and this prayer we can chant multiple times a day, not just from the lips, but also from the heart. Basically, offering our respects, our obeisance, our pranams to Sri Guru, Sri Lord Chaitanya, Sri Radhika, remembering Vrindavan Dham, the devotees. So it's a whole condensed Mangalacharan, and it hardly takes 10 seconds, 15 seconds to chant this prayer and to in the heart remember before cooking, before doing any service, before chanting, after cooking, before offering, after offering food, doing any deity worship, doing arti, doing reading Bhagvatam, after reading Bhagvatam. We can do this at any time, in office, at home, in the bathroom. One can do at any point. Because what's better than remembering all these wonderful personalities just by speaking one nice verse. So please try to learn this. It's simple and quite straightforward. So that's the duty of the disciple. The disciple should offer obeisance to the spiritual master. Any comments, questions anyone has? Okay, let's read the next verse. Kabir Prabhu, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhu. Text 4. Mekhala ajina bashamshi jata danda jata danda kamandalun bibriyat upa bitam cha dharva pani jatha uditam. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Carrying pure grass in his hand, the brahmachari should dress regularly with a belt of straw and with deerskin garments. He should wear matted hair, carry a rod and water pot, and be decorated with a sacred thread, as recommended in the Shastras. So here we can see Sri Narad Muni is actually explaining that how a brahmachari should dress like, and carrying the kusha grass. We read about the kusha grass in I think in two areas so far I remember. One in Prithu Maharaj, where he, when he was, the Bhumi Devi was in that chapter, we read about the kusha grass. Here is saying that the brahmachari should wear a belt of straw and deerskin garments. In contrast, here I was just remembering a pastime in Mahaprabhu's pastime, where Mahaprabhu was actually not recommending the. There was a devotee named Brahmananda Puri. God brother of Mahaprabhu's spiritual master Srila Ishwar Puri. And when Mahaprabhu started his pastime in Jagannath Puri, especially the disciples of Srila Madhavendra Puripad, they were all coming and joining him. So Brahmananda Puri was one of the disciples of Srila Madhavendra Puri. And he came and he was wearing actually the deer skin. And Mahaprabhu initially even though he saw him, but he kind of ignored him, and he said, "Where is Brahmananda Puri, my worshipable Lord?" And then one devotee said, "Oh, here is Brahmananda Puri," but because he was wearing the deer skin, Mahaprabhu didn't agree with that. And Brahmananda Puri, he understood Mahaprabhu's mind, and right away he changed his garment, and Mahaprabhu paid obeisances to him. So, I mean, we can see that how it is our parampara system, it goes along with the time and circumstances. When Narad Muni was saying at that time, it was recommended, and we can see from our acharyas that was not recommended. So it's so nice that it is not like hard and fast, but some of the things like carrying the rod and or the kamandolu, which we see that in Mahaprabhu's pastime. Mahaprabhu, by his example, he showed how to practices. So he was wearing the simple cloth but carrying the water pot and the rod. Hare Krishna Prabhu, back to you. Please add or correct.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing that pastime. The principle is simplicity, detachment, and dependence on Krishna. Yes, we have to be, again, for every time and age, the principles remain the same, the details may vary. Now you may see that brahmacharis, the essence is, in the temples they have, all they have is a tiny locker, and in that they keep their everything. So it is a great sign of surrender and simplicity. Like maybe by, like, just imagine like 1 meter cube of space, or 10 feet cube, 10 feet, kind of, you got it, like 2 feet by 2 feet by 3 feet, like approximately that much space. That's where they keep all their dhoti, kurta, books, their general stuff, and in everything pretty much. So yes, one has to dress properly, but the goal is the more we complicate things, the more we will be wasting our time in maintaining them. And the famous story, there was a very renounced person, kind of Baba, and he had only 2 pieces of cloth to cover his body, and he would, wash one and dry one. That's all he had. So once upon a time, there was this rat who was nibbing through his piece of cloth, biting the piece of cloth, and then he thought that it will be nice if I have a cat to take care of the rat, so that the rat won't disturb, won't bite, won't rip apart my clothes. So, okay, and then the cat was there. Cat came because he had that desire. Krishna is very merciful. He sends. He will easily fulfill material desires. The cat came, and then he would do his meditation and bhajan, and the cat would do meow, meow. Cat needs attention. Now he has to feed the cat. Well, how will I feed the cat? He said, well, it would be nice if I had a cow. Then the milk can be given to the cat and then the cat will be pacified. Okay, Krishna is very merciful. The cow came. Well, for 1 or 2 times he milked the cow, but then he said, oh, well, I'm pretty much busy in milking the cow. The cow is needing so much attention. It'll be nice if there was someone to take care of the cow. So he got the cow. Oh, sorry. Krishna sent a lady and then he gets married to a lady and this lady is taking care of the cow. She's milking the cow. She's feeding the cow. The milk is given to the cat. The cat is taking care of the rat and the rat's. Then finally, this lady needs attention. The lady needs a baby. The lady needs other things. So the point here is that it was a very small problem that the rat had created some holes in the cloth. But how it, one thing after the other, we feel that, okay, let me get this thing and my problem will be solved. But problems really doesn't get solved, rather it complicates further. So simplicity is very, very important. And all these articles and are a sign of simplicity. This brahmachari carries a pot, that's pot, dependent on Krishna. Okay, Krishna will arrange. Sign of simplicity, sign of surrender, sign of humility. Kushagrass, sign of purity, cleanliness. So one should dress nicely in the sense one should not dress shabbily or uncultured way based on the appropriate time, place, and circumstances. Whether one is grihastha, brahmachari, or we must dress appropriately. And for temple activities or programs, we must dress nicely in dhoti, kurta, sari, Vaishnav tilak, kanthi mala. The hair is clean, the face is clean, the nails are clean, everything. All this cleanliness means the sign of Vaishnavta. So because we are representing our society, we are representing Prabhupada, we are representing our Guru. So we must, again, agreed all these are externals. It's not that by just wearing dhoti, kurta or sari one will become a devotee. Absolutely correct. But yes, these are important. And when we wear Vaishnav dress, we are more cognizant. It makes us feel, oh, I'm wearing this Vaishnav tilak, I'm wearing this Vaishnav dress. I should be. What's this going on? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Hare Krishna.
I think I should start setting up a password somehow.
That's there can be a problem with Zoom. It's been in the news that someone else can hack it.
Correct. And that's what happened once more also. Yeah, but setting a password, I think, helps to create one extra layer. Yeah. Anyways, the person is gone. Yeah, it could be a Zoom thing. It happened in Madhavan Prabhu's class as well. Anyways, back to this point of the qualities of brahmachari. The point is here of dress, as one should dress simply, clean, and as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what's that verse? Prabhu, bhala na pehniye, bhala na khaibe. One should not dress like very, very gorgeously. Because our principle is simplicity. So it should not be or very, very, the clothes which everyone is looking, oh, who's this person? It should be simple and neat and clean, and for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. Any other comments or questions? When we dress Krishna nicely, our desire to dress nicely goes away. When we dress Krishna with nice opulent clothes, jewelry, etc., our desire to get all those things goes away. That's higher taste. And that's a principle. Text 5, would someone like to read who has not read this week?
I can read, Prabhuji. Dandavat
Yes,
Pranam.
please.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Text 5. Sayam prataschared vaikshayam gurave tan nivedayat vunjita yadi anujnato nachet upavaset kvachit. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The brahmachari should go out morning and evening to collect alms, and he should offer all that he collects to the spiritual master. He should eat only if ordered to take food by the spiritual master. Otherwise, if the spiritual master does not give this order, he may sometimes have to fast. Back to you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So these are the duties as we discussed for a brahmachari student living in the Gurukul's ashram. Now, it may not be intelligent or practical to every time we call, okay, Gurudev, should I eat prasadam now? Okay, should I eat lunch now? Should I eat dinner now? You don't want to cause a disturbance to the Guru. But if we are following in the principles laid down by the spiritual master, then practically we are living this instruction. So the spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada has laid down few instructions: chanting minimum 16 rounds, offering food to the deities through the medium of Guru Parampara, and reading Bhagvatam, hearing Krishna Katha, etc. So if we are doing that, that means we have permission of the spiritual master. If we are doing something inappropriate, then we should ask, will my Guru allow me to do this? Do I feel that my Guru will be happy to in seeing me do this? So if we are introspective and mature and sincerely trying, then we will get the answer. Because he is present as Chaitya Guru also, inside and outside as the spiritual master, Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, etc. So if we are continuously trying to remember Guru and remember Krishna and please them, then the answers will come from within. It's not that now every time we have to call for morning breakfast or for the evening or whatever. In the traditional system, they would first, the Guru would eat, and then he would ask, okay, all of you students can eat now. That was the way back. But nowadays, we have to follow the principles as per Deshakala Patra. So, and one should offer the alms one collects to the spiritual master. So, here it is mentioned, all that he collects, 100%. So, it's a very big thing. But certainly, one should, especially for Grihastha, it will come later, that at least one should give a portion of one's salary, business, whatever one does to earn one's livelihood in the service of Lord Krishna, in the service of the Guru, so that this mission can be shared with more and more people. And it's not that we are doing any upkar to others. As the body gets purified by bathing, as the mind gets purified by chanting the holy names or being tolerant, similarly, the money earned any profession, whether it's doctor, engineer, lawyer, business, chef, or anything, one is certainly doing some sins. There's absolutely no business, no job without sins. One may say, oh no, my job does not need sin. I'm a very simple person. I'm a professor in a college. What sin I'm doing? Right? Someone can say. We use the car to go to the college or the school. We have killed so many insects. Can we avoid them? No matter whatever our job or business or profession, no matter how Brahmanical it may be, teaching is a very Brahmanical profession, nice, but everyone's situation is different. Still, one is committing sins. So to purify that money earned, one should give at least a portion. Start with small portion, and as per Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they showed by their example by giving 50%. So at least we start with somewhere and gradually try to improve. Any other comments, questions anyone has? Bhadra Prabhu, you were saying something? Okay. Anyone else? Any questions, comments?
I mean, you already said. Whole point was that the whatever we collect is in the brahmachari ashram, particularly whatever brahmachari is collecting, he is turning everything to the spiritual master, and this apply like in book distribution, particularly brahmacharis. I'm not talking about the grihasthas, but the devotees who are staying in the temple, and they used to do that, and they still do that. They go out, distribute the books or whatever, fundraising for the festivals or whatever. They everything they turn into the spiritual master or the temple authorities. That's the whole point. Because tendency is there to money is sweeter than honey. And money is something which is causing the, to corrupt. Sometimes it happens to keep something, some percentage for me. But that's not here he's saying to turn in everything. So and then depend on the mercy of the spiritual master. Because Kṛṣṇa is watching anyhow, ultimately, everything what we do.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Yes, Kirti Mataji, do you have a comment or you want to read next verse?
I will read next verse, Prabhu.
Okay, yes, please.
Dandavat pranam to everyone. Text 6. Sushilo mita bhudaksha shraddhadhano jitendriyah yavadartha vyavaharet srishu sri nirjiteshu cha. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A brahmachari should be quite well behaved and gentle and should not eat or collect more than necessary. He must always be active and expert, fully believing in the instruction of the spiritual master and the Shastra. Fully controlling his senses, he should associate only as much as necessary with women and those controlled by women. Purport. A brahmachari should be careful not to mix with women and with the man addicted to women. Although when he goes out to beg alms, it is necessary to talk with the woman and with men very much attached to the women. This association should be very short and he should talk with them only about begging alms and not more. A brahmachari should be very careful in associating with the men who are attracted to women. Back to you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, so these are more qualities of brahmachari, that very, very well behaved, controlled in eating, mita, bhuk, and daksha. And actually, these are the qualities for a devotee, because it's, as you know, a devotee learns the best from every aspect. Daksha is one of the 26 qualities of devotee. Mita bhuk, being controlled. Danta, being sense control. These are all divine qualities. So it's not just, okay, only brahmachari should have, oh, I'm in grihastha ashram, so I don't need to be controlled in my eating. I don't need to be daksha. One should be expert. Whatever service we are doing, we should try to improve. Even any service, because one should try to offer the best to Krishna. And the main point here is dealing with the opposite sex. So, and especially one devotee mentioned once, the association of those who are attached, too much attached to it's mentioned about stri and stri nirjeteshu. Those who are always talking about women, those who are always attached to women, their association is more disastrous. So we must carefully choose our association. So the point Prabhupada is clarifying that yes, ours is a preaching mission. So there may be certainly at times, and the brahmachari may have to talk to the opposite sex or women for some service related matters. But one should be very, very careful. It should be only to service, not dangling around, not talking nonsensical stuff, and being extra careful. So, especially in this in age of Kali Yuga, a lot can be said about this topic, but one should be very, very careful in dealing with the opposite sex, and therefore we address the woman, except for one's wife, as Mataji, mother. The whole intention is mother-like respect. And if one has that intention in one's mind and heart, then one will always be very respectable, careful in one's words, actions, desires. All those things one should think as if I'm talking to my mother, as if I'm interacting with my mother. And should not talk nonsensical stuff. It should be Krishna conscious. And in ISKCON, as per the Vaishnava etiquette, best is to have one extra person, as per time, place, and situation. For example, if one Prabhu is talking to one Mataji, if there is one extra person present, it helps both parties. It helps, and I have seen many senior brahmacharis doing that, and many devotees doing that. One senior devotee, one Mataji just came and approached this Prabhu who was giving a class, and after the class, she approached innocently. All the intention, everything was good, but this Prabhu, although being a senior devotee, said, "Shulas Prabhu, can you wait here for some time?" I could not understand that why he's asking me to wait, But later, when I asked, and then he shared with me, and I then introspected, and I felt that that's a very essential lesson, that nothing is private, because there's no private thing. I'm not talking anything private, and a devotee's life is open. And even if there is something confidential, then either the other person's Let's say sometimes if I'm talking to some Mataji, I share, or my wife is present, or that Mataji's husband is present. That's a good idea. It helps. Or it may be sometimes at phone, then I share with my wife. I'm not saying I'm great, but I'm sharing something which helps me. So, just some thoughts. Any corrections, comments? Yes, please, Prabhuji.
Srila Prabhupada, even when his sister Peshima would come, Srila Prabhupada would always would have one servant or secretary be there. Even imagine Srila Prabhupada. And this in this text, all the what all is described, it also applies for the grihastha. I'm not talking about grihmedi. All the points which are described for the brahmachari are actually also applied for the grihasthas. Of course, in this audience is mostly grihasthas. See, so it is good to keep that in mind, and I'm keeping myself. I'm talking about. These are the things which is also all the points applied to me in my life. That's what for grihastha. That's what it is here. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for sharing Prabhupada's story. Any other comments or questions before we move on to the next one? Okay, who is not read for this week? Would like to read next verse, text 7?
I can read.
Yes, please.
Text 7, Hare Krishna devotees. Varajyapat pramada gatam agrasto brata indriyani pramatini haranti api yatarmana. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. A brahmachari, or one who has not accepted the grihastha ashrama family life, must rigidly avoid talking with women or about women, for the senses are so powerful that they may agitate even the mind of a sannyasi, a member of the renounced order of life. Purport. Brahmacharya essentially means the vow not to marry but to observe strict celibacy. Brihad Vrata. A brahmachari or sannyasi should avoid talking with women or reading literature concerning talks between man and woman. The injunction restricting association with women is the basic principle of spiritual life. Associating or talking with women is never advised in any of the Vedic literatures. The entire Vedic system teaches one to avoid sex life so that one may gradually progress from brahmacharya to grihastha, from grihastha to vanaprastha, and vanaprastha to sannyasa, and thus give up material enjoyment, which is the original cause of bondage to this material world. The word Brahvrata refers to one who had decided not to marry, or even in other words, not to indulge in sex life throughout the entire life. So in this particular verse, Sri Prabhupada is further expanding on how brahmacharis and how they should not associate with women, or how careful they have to be, or how their senses will get agitated if they associate with women or talk to men who are interested in women, and so on. Because they're supposed to be in a renounced order of life, and they have to control their senses. And if the mind wanders and gets into starts associating with women, then their whole purpose of going to to the spiritual life and practicing spiritual life, that will be polluted. That's what I understand from this. So back to you, bro. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Indriyani pramathini. We are unconquerable, very, very difficult to conquer. Haranti api yatir manaha. Yati means sannyasi, Dhyandinam, Nyasinam. There are multiple categories of sannyasi. So yati is also another word used to address sannyasi. So even someone who is in the renounced order, in the last ashrama of lives, that person's mana, haranti, can be stolen away. By what? By pramathini indriya, by this unconquerable senses. Very, very difficult to overcome. So, and Lord Chaitanya showed by his example. He was very, very strict in dealing with opposite sex. Although he is the Supreme Lord, he is free from all these anarthas or these different modes. But the Lord is showing by his example. And Srila Prabhupada also showed by his examples. So one should not feel, oh, I'm for last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years in International Society for Krishna Consciousness, or this fire and butter analogy always applies. When the butter comes in contact with fire, it melts. So one should be very, very careful. And the women also have a role by maintaining a respectable distance, especially from or understanding that they have taken a very big vow, as mentioned here, that they have a brihad vow, brihad vrata. We know the brihad mridanga. Brihad means big. When Bhishma Dev took his vow that I will never marry, the demigods even showered. And that's the time his name became Bhishma. So it is a very, very big vow, especially now in Kali Yuga, where padam padam vipadam, everywhere there are some inappropriate flyers and so much propaganda of media, social media, this and that. It is a very difficult vow. And therefore very few people are able to keep that brihad vrata, because it is not that easy. So understanding that we should, whatever our gender is, we have a specific body. So we have to be cognizant of our body. Yes, we are a soul, but we have to be cognizant of the bodily differences and act according to our bodily differences as well. That means, not going too close to the brahmacharis or sannyasis, or touching their feet and things like that. It may not be a very good idea. So, because we can pray for them, like one brahmachari devotee was mentioning that. So the brahmachari should not be even averse of women. That's the other side of attachment. Aversion is another side of attachment, but respecting them as mothers, and the mothers give the respect. May you be brahmachari throughout your life. May you always be protected from Maya. May you always be sense control, mind control. So in that way, it is very healthy. Yes, Nandini, did you want to share some comments?
No, each and every shloka reminds me of what Prabhupada always said. Books are the basis, purity is the force, preaching is the essence, and utility is the principle. So, our instructions are coming from the books, and purity is the force, like this purity in behavior, how to maintain distance and think in such a way that we are not deviating from Guru and Krishna's teachings, and by our example, by our behavior, we are preaching. So they say that preaching means sometimes you have to talk, but other times you are preaching by just how you behave. And utility is the principle, because like we read, Lord Chaitanya did not respect the Brahmananda Brahmachari for wearing deer skin. So because that is utility is does not exist. I just wanted to share that. Thank you, Prabhu Dandavats.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing this wonderful points. Any other comments, questions before we move to the next? Yes, Prabhuji, please.
One sannyasi had on his computer, he had the video of 1 minute, and this video was keep moving. So from the back side, how the senses are going towards, that was his point. How the senses are so, mind is so gets into seeing. So from the distance, it's a long hair and like a sari, wearing like a sari, and walking and had a chadar, and the sannyasi is in behind. It's like behind, and this is walking. So from the far distance, it looked like a with long hair, beautiful lady walking. But after some time, this same picture, when this picture is turning, and the chadar falling up, putting up, and he sees that this man, it was a man actually, and he had a beard, he had a beard, you see. But it looked from the far distance, from the back, looked like a lady. So what this sloka is saying is these senses are so powerful. And particularly the mind's all working senses and the knowledge, particular knowledge acquired senses is all are working under the mind. And mind is so powerful because mind is also has lust is sitting in the mind. Intelligence, lust is intelligent, isn't it? Beside the senses. So when the person sees all these scenes, then mind gets attracted to this. But when you see the real picture, then you realize that, oh, this was not a lady, it was a man. See? But mind starts to think that way. See? Just for him to, so it was interesting. So that's what the point is here made, that the senses are so powerful. And particularly in this age of the Kali Yuga, where everything is open. When we go on the road, there are whole billboard is filled with those kind of things, isn't it? So that is the point here to be. But point is that this all what is mentioned is the applicable, but the main thing is that Krishna conscious process is so powerful. That's the point for us to learn, because many of these things are which is written, which is not applicable at present in the brahmacharya ashram or so and so forth. Some going to the arm, who is going to go to beg the alms? That doesn't happen. But the point is that, and also they go to beg alms in India, and some ashram they do it. It is all there, it's still there. But the main point for ourselves, Krishna consciousness, the process which is given by Srila Prabhupada is so powerful that if we just follow that process, strictly, then everything else will be taken care. And that will be, by association, by chanting. Thank
you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Any other comments or questions for today before we stop? Okay, so we will pause here and continue tomorrow. Tomorrow is a very auspicious day of Ekadashi, and also the beginning of Jhulan Yatra, as Prabhu mentioned earlier. So let's try to absorb our mind and our attention, our senses in serving more and more by reading, chanting, hearing, etc. So let's take the maximum advantage of this special day. Mantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Chakrapurvyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.